guys, and welcome to this week's Coffee and Heroes show. Flying solo myself, Alan, the owner of Coffee and Heroes, coffee shop and comic store in Belfast. So usually I'm joined by Keith for YouTube, but this week he is having a well-deserved break over in sunny Spain, topping up his tan, allowing the Spanish to enjoy his dulcet tones. But our commitment to making sure there's something up every week, just keep you guys up to date with what's happening in the comics world. I mean, the big release this week, certainly in terms of different media, is Daredevil. Born Again Season 2 has landed. The first episode came out a couple of nights ago. I'm planning to watch it tonight, so no opinions just yet. But hopefully next week, if Keith's back, we can have a little chin wag about that. But yeah, it dropped on Disney+. Looking forward to that, of course. A big thing this week is the previews books arrived for Marvel. So the DC one hasn't arrived just yet. I believe the DC Connect is online, but we'll go through it next week when our paper copies arrive in store. But this is the April for June shipping in terms of new product, in terms of new titles. So we'll take a quick flick through it. Keith can always add some stuff next week if he wants when he is back. So just kick things off. I mean, Avengers Armageddon is definitely the big release this catalogue. This is what we're building to in terms of the Marvel Universe right now, through things like Captain America, through things like Wolverine Weapons of Armageddon. So this is going to be written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Adelio Diaz and Frank Alpizar. Armageddon has arrived. Red Hulk's devastating terror across the globe must be stopped. But it will take a colossal gathering of Earth's mightiest heroes to do it. Calling in the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, Wolverine, and more, but who will survive this super-powered cataclysm? There will be a pre-Armageddon Marvel Universe and a post-Armageddon Marvel Universe. Be here to bear witness to the transformation. So there's been loads of rumours about this being like a reset for the Marvel Universe, a New 52 style type reboot. They have so far poo-pooed that idea, but the more you read about it and the more you see it, and they're not going to admit that off the bat, of course, but the more you sort of think about it, it would make sense. It would give the Marvel Universe a bit of a reset, which it possibly needs at the moment. But flicking on through the book and finding some other bits and pieces of interest, definitely one that caught my eye was Spider-Man Long Way Home. So this is written by Jonathan Hickman, art by Adam Kubert. It's going to be a 5-issue miniseries. Definitely coming out to coincide with Spider-Man Brand New Day coming out soon, of course, the new movie. The reason I say that is because this is a tale involving Spider-Man, Hulk, and the Punisher, all confirmed to be in that movie. A dark homecoming awaits. It's a world before the Punisher, a world where the existence of the Hulk is but a whisper of a rumour, a world where AIM has just developed a cosmic cube in the jungles of South America. Frank Castle, Bruce Banner, and Peter Parker are all on a mission to keep the cube out of the wrong hands, including each other's. In this three-way free-for-all for the power of the cosmos, who will come out on top? Legendary creators Jonathan Hickman and Adam Kubert team up to tell the grittiest Spider-Man story of the ages. The preview art for that looks fantastic. As I say, it is Adam Kubert on that. And the pre-orders have already started with regards to that title. Flicking through, let's see what else we've got. I have to mention this as a fan of the Kevin Smith View Askew-verse. Jen Silent Bob, Jays of Future Past. First of all, fantastic title. Written, of course, by Kevin Smith. Art by Marvel stalwart Giuseppe Camuncoli. They've even got the likes of Marco Cicchetto and Phil Noto in for covers. Doom decrees the dim-witted duo must die. Captain American J and friendly neighborhood wider man Silent Bob make a quick stop in the Marvel Universe. But when Dr. Doom decrees these Jersey guys must die, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, the X-Men, and a whole hoary host of heroes must team up on a joint mission to save the dim-witted duo from a lethal case of superhero fatigue. So just a one-shot for that one, 40 pages. Sounds really, really fun, so I'm sure that will prove pretty popular. What have we got next? X-Men 97, Season 2, number 1. So for anybody who loves the animated X-Men series, and of course, why wouldn't you? We're getting more comics there. Going to be 5 issues in total, because 5 tends to be the magic number with Marvel these days. As you can see from X-Men Outback, a new X-Men title, 1 of 5. Written by Steve Orlando, art by Steven Segovia. Journey back to a time when the public believed Storm, Wolverine, Rogue, Colossus, Dazzler, Havoc, Psylocke, and Longshot were dead. But from the shadows, these X-Men protected humanity from their Australian headquarters. But why did the team choose the Outback as their home base? How did tensions between them almost tear the team apart? And which of their old enemies threatened to expose their secrets? So new 5-issue one there. One that I'm sure Keith will want to talk about next week, even though it'll be a week after I sort of talk about it, is Bishop. I know Bishop is one of his favourite X-Men characters. This is going to be a 5-issue miniseries. Surprise, surprise. Written by Saladin Ahmed with art by Mario Santoro. The time-lost X-Man is back. Bishop has always lived by a strict code, but that code will get called into question when his sister's shard is sent to the present right before she died. Will Bishop adhere to his principles and protect the time stream, or will he risk it all to save the most important person in his life? Superstar writer Saladin Ahmed will put the tough-as-nails mutant through the ringer. So Saladin Ahmed, of course, did Daredevil recently before the relaunch that we're expecting very, very soon with Stephanie Phillips, currently writing Wolverine. So more and more becoming a key player in the Marvel Universe. So lots of stuff just continuing on here as we flick through the books. You know, Wolverine and Amazing Spider-Man, Countdown to 1000. We're only a few issues away from that. We've got, what else have we got here? Venom continuing, Iron Man up as far as number 6. Daredevil will be on number 4 by then. But we have that as the major sort of Marvel section, and we move from there, and there is the sort of 20th Century Fox section. Got Predator Bloodshed continuing, Alien King Killer. We've got Star Wars Rogue One, Jyn Erso. So they're starting to do a couple of Rogue One one-shots, I believe. So for this one, this will be written by Ethan Sachs, art by Raman Rosanos. A Prisoner of the Empire, A Chance at Hope. So yeah, they're doing Rogue One. There was one in the previous catalogue as well. But we go from there and into the collected editions, and there are some stunning ones this month for myself personally. The first one being Silver Surfer, the Infinity Gauntlet Omnibus hardcover. Give me more Silver Surfer, absolutely. Written by Jim Starlin, Ron Mars and more. Drawn by Ron Lynn, Todd Smith, Tom Rainey, George Perez and more. The Sentinel of the Spaceways plays a central role in Marvel's greatest cosmic epic, of course being the Infinity Gauntlet. We're getting into the sort of Silver Surfer era of the two Rons there as well. Highly recommend as well Ghost Rider by Benjamin Percy Omnibus. Ghost Rider doesn't always tend to get the longest runs in the world. You know, in a time where we're talking about Marvel only doing 5-issue runs and 10-issue runs, that kind of thing. It's a miracle that this went for 21 issues. So you've got all 21 issues in there, as well as Ghost Rider Wolverine Weapons of Vengeance Alpha. You've got the Wolverine issues for that crossover Weapons of Vengeance as well. You've got Ghost Rider Final Vengeance 1-6, Ghost Rider Vengeance Forever one-shot, Ghost Rider Annual, and some other material as well. So highly recommend that. That was a fantastic run. Really, really enjoyed that. What else have we got in terms of trade paperbacks that stand out? We have Star Wars Boba Fett, Black, White, and Red getting a collected edition. We have Infamous Iron Man. This was always a very highly regarded Iron Man run. Written by Brian Michael Bendis, art by Alex Maleev. There's a new Iron Man in town, and his name is Victor Von Doom. I wonder if that has anything to do with a certain movie coming out later this year, where we have Iron Man and Victor Von Doom trading identities. I wonder. So yeah, plenty more in the Marvel book besides what I've just went through. Those are just the things that certainly stand out the most to give you guys a heads up. We got plenty of the previous books in store. There's always copies on the tables in the store if you're sitting in. There's always a copy up at the counter, but there's copies there if you're calling in, grabbing your pull list. You know, we don't charge for these, so just grab a copy if you want. A cool thing from this week, actually, local artist, creator, and local legend, PJ Holden, popped into the store, and he's been quietly working away on a personal project, which he's writing and drawing, called Terran Omega, a new sci-fi fantasy book. And he's been quietly putting it together himself. He was kind enough to drop me in the first issue of it, which has the subtitle The Ghosts of War, 40 pages, I believe. There's talk of him possibly getting a major release through the likes of Image Comics. So if that becomes the case, obviously we'll have PJ back to the store. We'll do a nice wee launch with it and that kind of thing. But it's really, really cool of him to drop it in. Again, just showing the comics community is an awesome place. In terms of stuff out this week, I mean, there was only one place to start in terms of the biggest book, Superman Spider-Man, one-shot. Absolutely brilliant crossover book. 50th anniversary of Superman Spider-Man, the first book. And, you know, I've said this to plenty of people who come into the store. For me, this is just a much more natural fit in terms of characters than Batman Deadpool was. I understood the idea behind Batman Deadpool. Certainly Batman's DC's biggest character. Deadpool at the time was riding the wave off Deadpool Wolverine, so maybe you can get your casual audience in with that character. But this book just makes so much more sense. You know, Clark Kent is a reporter, Peter Parker as a photographer. Perry White and J. Jonah Jameson lend themselves perfectly to his story. You know, Lois Lane, MJ, it just all makes sense. Some great creators involved in this one. So DC have released their one first this time. So again, just to explain this, because it can be a little confusing, with DC and Marvel and their crossovers, they always do 2 books. One is published by DC and, you know, their creators and all their best creative talent, and then one is done by Marvel and it's released by Marvel, and again, their stable of talent works on that book. So the reason you know, the way you know which one is which character's name comes first. So when Deadpool Batman came out, that was the Marvel book. 2 months later, there was Batman Deadpool, and that was the DC book. So we've kicked off here with Superman Spider-Man, so this is the DC book. And then in May, we're going to get the next one shot, which is Spider-Man Superman. So yeah, just be aware there are 2 different books. I mean, there was times people were coming into the store after the release of Deadpool Batman, and I would point out Batman Deadpool to them, and they just would not be convinced. They were like, no, I've already got that. No, it's a different book. No, I've already got that. Okay, I've already got it. So yeah, you just got to be careful with it and just make sure that you don't miss out that way. But yeah, I mean, we had a queue out the door for opening on Wednesday. You know, 10 or 12 people outside waiting to get in to get the best variants. We got every variant in. Took me around 2 hours to label them all. So yeah, it's lived up to the hype. Great book. I think we're down to our last copy or 2 in the store. I've already restocked for next week as well, just in case you're coming to it late. But yeah, fantastic book, and I highly recommend picking it up if you haven't already. Another big one I'm looking forward to this week is Punisher #2. So this was the book that followed on from Punisher Red Band, Benjamin Percy on writing duties. Really enjoyed the first issue of this. It's great to have a Punisher book back on the shelves. You know, I think we've 40 people on Punisher. Proven to be a really, really popular title, and that is never a bad thing when you've got some Frank around, because I think, you know, when it comes to Punisher, it's just great that you have a counterpoint to a lot of the lighter Marvel stuff with something a bit more grown up. What I'm looking forward to this week as well, it actually should have been out last week, but our copies were delayed, is The Thing on the Doorstep. If you're a fan of Lovecraft, you're a fan of horror, gothic horror, that kind of stuff, highly, highly recommended. Simon Burke's writing this one, released through Image Comics, so that's #2. What else have I got this week? White Sky #2. So White Sky #1 came out a few weeks ago, became one of those really hot Image books that was £30-40, you know, on the secondary market within a week. Thankfully, they put out a second print really quickly. We got plenty of those in. They sold out and sold through. And now #2's out. Imagine a post-apocalyptic world, but instead of like the dead or aliens or whatever, it's ghosts that are hanging around. You know, it's unsettled spirits. Really, really creepy first issue. Looking forward to tucking into #2. What else do I want to show off? Dork, we got new printings in this week as well. So Dork is another one of those books through Image Comics that just exploded out of nowhere. You know, so we got third printing #1's in, and second printing #2's in stock as well. So if you're playing catch up and you just want to read these books, we have got you sorted there. And then just some books that I've been reading recently, really, really enjoyed. Walking Dead Deluxe, I talk about it nearly every time I can, but you know, I had a really good conversation with a couple of guys in the store yesterday, Ewan and Sean, and we were talking about like our favorite comics of all time. And you know, for me, Dark Knight Returns, anybody that knows me knows that's not a surprise. And I got on to Ewan, and his favorite book, he said, was The Walking Dead, and it really is top 5 comic of all time. You know, long narrative, given time to breathe, completely independent. You know, obviously Tony Moore's the artist at the start, but then Charlie Adler takes over as the artist for 95% of the title. So, you know, there's not artist changes the whole way through it. It never got delayed. It never skipped a release day. And it built and built and built, and it reached a point where they just ended it out of nowhere as a real surprise as well. So I've been thoroughly loving the reread through with The Walking Dead Deluxe, obviously in colour now. I mean, I was asked, do I prefer the colour of the black and white? I don't really notice it either way, to be honest. You know, it was a perfect book in black and white, and I'm enjoying it in colour. But in colour is the only way I'm going to be able to collect all the single issues, because obviously the single issues now of the original run are much pricier. You know, success of the TV show and that kind of thing. I don't know if I've told this story before or not on the podcast or on YouTube or anything, so I'll just tell you quickly. But like, The Walking Dead #1 holds a special place for us, because I'd had the idea for the store for a couple of years, and I knew I needed sort of seed money to get going. You know, we'd been building up stock, and we'd been buying uniforms here and there and coffee cups and this and that. But I knew I needed seed money to take the pressure off at the start. So I had a Walking Dead #1 CG seed at 9.8 first printing. And I bought it at the time probably for around £600. You know, it was a big, big investment. But when I wanted to open the store, The Walking Dead was at its zenith of popularity. Like you couldn't go on Twitter unless you'd seen the episode, otherwise everything would be spoiled. You used to wake up the next morning when it had been shown the night before in America, watch it first thing to make sure you were informed and up to date. Like Walking Dead Mania was everywhere. It was around season 5, season 6. And I just thought to myself, this is the only thing I could sell right now that I have in my collection that would like take the pressure off the business for the first few months. So I sold my copy. I got around £2,000 for it at the time. And, you know, that money paid rent for the first 3 months for the business and took care of a couple of other charges and that kind of thing. So I like the idea that The Walking Dead essentially helped us set up the store. And I always love telling that story. Another couple that I enjoyed in the last couple of weeks, or last week, you know, I mentioned it before, DCAW is just great fun. And Catwoman 85, I keep calling Catwoman like it's like DC's most best kept secret because it's such a great book. You know, the run started with Joelle Jones writing it, then you had Ram V writing it, then you had Tini Howard writing it, now you have Torun Grombeck writing it, so great creators on it. Up at 85, Marvel take note, you can let numbers go up and up and up to show a long-standing story. But yeah, 85, I love Catwoman. It's a treat every time it comes out. Not loads of people have it in their pull list, maybe 7 or 8. But I implore you, you know, if you're looking at a good book when it comes to DC stuff, you want something a little bit outside the norm, Catwoman is fantastic. But yeah, that's just going to do it for me for this week. As I said, I just wanted to throw up a quick episode, chat about a couple of bits and pieces, and you know, keep the fire burning while Mr. Miller is away. But I'm sure it'll not be too long before he is back with me by my side and tell me why Marvel are actually the best in the world when they're not. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this. I'll hopefully see you in the store over the coming days and over the coming weeks. So, till then, take it easy.